What is up guys, it's your boy Solheim here, back with another World of Warcraft video for the War Within. Now today we're talking about investments, aka items you can buy right now that we are speculating will go up in price. And it is really worth noting here, we are speculating these items might go up in price because they are used in future content. Think about items that are used in raids, Mythic Plus dungeons, items that are not really in demand right now, but demand goes up over time. That being said, when demand goes up, supply usually goes up with it. That being said, the prices usually go up for these items, they have in the past, and they should now as well. I made a previous video like this a few days ago, which looks like this if you haven't seen it yet, talking about Lotus, for example, profaned tinderboxes, and some more items as well, that should see a skyrocket in price, or at least in demand, when the raid comes out. Lotus, for example, being used in flasks, and profaned tinderboxes being really hard to farm, and being used in pretty much all enchants in the game. And right now, doing heroic dungeons, not a lot of people are spending 20,000 gold to enchant their chest, their rings, their bracers, or even their weapons. But when Mythic Dungeons comes out, or the Raid comes out, or Mythic Plus Dungeons comes out, people will be more willing to spend the gold when they get their best in slot pieces, or really good gear upgrades. So those items should go up in price baseline. Now today we're talking about something else entirely, and we are shifting our focus to cooking. So when the Raid and Dungeons comes out, there's one more thing that will be way more relevant than it has been in the past, and that is cooking for food stat buffs, especially feasts. So for that purpose, we are going to go over to Wowhead and take a look at some of the feasts that are coming in the War Within, and I'll be showing you the prices of some of the items that I have personally invested into for this purpose, and talk a little bit more about why they're going up in price, but I think it's pretty obvious. It's items used in feasts. Think about gameplay right now. When you're doing heroics, how often do you spend 1,000 gold on a feast to get a food buff? Never, right? And when you're doing open world farming, when do you do it then? Never, right? So demand is basically literally zero at the moment. And when the raid comes out, at least the demand is not going to be zero anymore. People will be using feasts for the raids. Even sometimes Mythic Plus as well, they will be using feasts there. So feasts will really just go up in demand. That being said, once again, when demand goes up, supply tends to follow a little bit because the gold per hour goes up. Let's just say right now you make 30,000 gold per hour doing fishing. If the prices double, you now make 60,000, and then more people will start fishing, which also increases the supply, which then lowers the price. But all over, I think the price will move in an upwards trajectory, or upwards direction, when more content comes out. So once again, let's go to Wowhead, and take a look at some of the feasts that I've been looking at today. We have this one right here, the Feast of the Midnight Masquerade, that we can look at, and when we scroll down, we can see this one is being crafted by Portioned Steak, Spiced Meat Stock, and Kaheti Slum Shark. It's also like twined herbs that is being used here. When we look at another one, we have Feast of the Divine Day, also increasing your primary stat. It uses fresh fillet, chopped microbloom, 5 sanguine dogfish, and once again twined herbs. We also have how to make the actual fresh fillet and what is being used here. So we have what's useful in cooking basically when it comes to fish and what they're used for. So we have a lot of different fish. We first of all have one or a couple of them that basically only turns into fresh fillet, which is specular rainbow fish. We have roaring angle seeker and Dornish pike. Some of these are really cheap, by the way, so you can buy those and flip them. And then we have some that are really useful in very specific feasts. So for example, Kaheti Slum Shark was a fish that was being used as a pure ingredient to make one of the feasts. Same thing goes for sanguine dogfish, also an ingredient in making one of the feasts, and these are the queen slurfish. So going over to queen slurfish, for example, this is a reagent for the sushi special. Once again, this one does not increase your primary stat, but your highest secondary stat. So let's say you want to have mastery or haste or whatever you benefit from, you can go for this one instead, the sushi special. Basically a feast, but for secondary stats instead of primary stats. For this one, you need to have a fresh fillet, once again 120 of them, 50 twined herbs, and then 3 of very certain types of fish. You have the regal dottyback, you have the queen slurfish, and you also have the awoken coelacanth. I hope I said all those names correctly. I might have butchered some of them, but some of these are really hard to get, by the way. For example, the queen slurfish is only fishable in certain pools or certain locations in Ashkahet and Hallowfall, and then you have the awoken coelacanth, which is also really hard to farm and is selling for about 500 gold each fish at the moment. I believe you can see the prices right now, yeah, in the top right here. So 590 gold on the North American auction house and 415 on the EU auction house. And based on the comments on Wowhead, this one is looking pretty difficult to farm, and I've invested into it just because of that. So going back to the fresh fillet comment over here, we can see we have both uncommon fish and also rare fish, and the uncommon ones are basically common ones, I would say. You get them all the time when you're fishing anyway, and they are very cheap on the auction house. That being said, they are used in making the feast and could make for a good investment. And then you have the more rare ones, like the Kaheti Slum Shark. I consider to be a rare, even though it's technically uncommon, and it's selling for about 400 gold last time I checked on the auction house. And then we have these 3 rare types of fish that are always going to be useful. So we have both common, uncommon, and rare types of fish that you can invest into right now that basically has no demand. Nobody uses these fish anyway at the moment. Like, nobody buys feasts, nobody buys personal stat foods. When more content comes out, that is going to change 100%. When Mythic Dungeons comes out, Mythic Plus comes out, and the raids come out as well. To me, this is just a no-brainer that this will go up in demand. The only question is, will the supply follow the increased demand? Because once again, when demand goes up and price goes up, more people tend to go towards that type of content for farming gold. Like, for example, when fishing becomes good, people start fishing. That being said, a lot of people also hate fishing. It is super boring. You stand there, you stand still, click a button. So a lot of people just resent fishing and will not fish anyway, no matter if it's quote-unquote the best gold per hour. They would rather do herbalism and mining or mob farming, because that's more engaging and more fun. Now, once again, a video like this will be highly speculative, so make sure to do your research before buying into anything here. Go to, for example, the Undermine exchange and look at prices historically, so you don't just get flipped on. When a video like this comes out, or not just a video, but like a Reddit post as well, a Wowhead post, anything really, when something newsworthy comes out that makes people think this item could go up in price, somebody else might flip it. So I might buy, for example, Queen's Lurefish for 100 gold right now, and when the video comes out, somebody flips it to 400, hoping you blindly follow and just buy it for whatever the price is. So make sure to do your research on what the current price is, and do like a daily cost average. Buy in a little bit now, come back tomorrow, buy a little bit more. Just take a look at when the prices are usually the lowest, which there are certain times of the day, by the way. Like if you go here around midnight seems to be a good time, before the people that wake up early or stay up late try to do their midnight flips. So around 5 AM I see a bunch of flips on the auction house, people buy out huge stocks and reset entire markets. But either way, let's take a look at, for example, the Queen's Lurefish at the moment on the auction house. It's 100 gold, and I have 1,200 of them. I bought them for around this price, and I'm probably going to keep buying in for around this price as well, because this looks like a pretty good price to buy them at. And if you scroll down, another thing to look at here when you're buying items is look at the quantity and the volume available before a flip happens. So for example, to flip this to 160 gold, which to me would be 60% profit, it's only a 560,000 gold purchase. So if I spend 560,000 gold right now on this item, I can personally flip this to 160 gold per piece instead of only 100. So the 100 gold ones here, or all the way up to 110, are super cheap in comparison. I could buy, for example, up to 130 gold and just spend 164k, which is nothing, and then I will personally reset the market by 34 gold on this one item. Now I also bought a bunch of the Awoken Coelacanth, which I hopefully... This one right here, 415 gold, I bought a bunch of those last night as well, for around the same price they are right now. I think I got them at the exact 400 gold each mark. So once again, looking at the volume here, if we buy out all up to this place, we can spend 1 million and reset the price to 600 gold each, for 1 million gold on this item alone. The lesson here is to find out what the prices usually are on your region before buying in, and try to buy the item as cheap as possible. Alternatively, at least don't get flipped on. If for example, the Queen's Fish usually sells for 100 gold, and then suddenly gets flipped to 300 gold when you see this video, don't buy it for 300. Wait for the price to fall back down. Don't get flipped on. Now, 3 lessons here. Number 1, once again, don't get flipped on, check the price regularly, try to buy in over time, be smart about it, buy the items as cheap as you can, so just check the price on the auction house. And this is definitely a speculative video. We're speculating on the price going upwards in the next couple of weeks based on the demand trend. At the moment, demand is literally 0, nobody's using feasts anyway, and when more content comes out, more competitive content should I say, feasts will be way more in demand, so demand definitely goes up. The only question is, will the supply follow in that same curve? Let's just say demand goes up by probably 10,000%. Do you think the supply will go up the same? 10,000% increase in supply? I personally don't think so. That being said, when it is a farmable item like fish are, they are farmable, it's kind of hard capped on how much this can go up in price, because if you make 30,000 gold per hour from fishing right now, the fish simply can't go up in price by 10 times, because that would make the fishers 300,000 gold per hour, and that is simply never going to happen. So it is hard capped on, not hard capped, but like really capped on how much these fish can go up in price based on it being a super supplyable item. Or like fish, you can literally go and fish them up, right? So it's a farmable item. It's capped on how much it can go up, but I can definitely see them doubling in price, tripling in price, and some of them even quadrupling in price, personally. But that's once again highly speculative. Either way, it's an item with no demand right now, definitely uptrending demand in the next couple of weeks, and I wanted to let you guys know about them early. Now, a couple of people have been commenting on the last investment video saying that when a video like this comes out, it's too late. Well, I'm just going to show you some prices from the items talked about in that video. So profane tinderboxes, for example, they are now 5.9k. When that video came out, they were 6k. So the price is exactly the same now, 4 days after that video came out, the previous investment video. And when it was too late, the price is still the same at this point, to this day, even after the video came out. Sure, they went up to 8k after the video came out, because everyone buys in at the same time, and then they go down again, because this is an item for the future. You buy them right now, but it's an item for the future, so until demand goes up, they will keep going down in price, or at least have a somewhat steady price. And then you have, for example, Lotus, which I do believe have been going kind of steady, with they were 300 gold each when the video came out, and they're now 350, so they have been staying somewhat steady, but it kind of proves the point that it's not too late. Profane tinderboxes are the same price, Null Lotus are 350, I can see those going up way further than that, personally, when flasks become way more in demand than they are right now. So I don't think it's too late when a video like that comes out. Just don't fall for the bait. If the prices are already going up, wait for them to go back down before you buy. Don't get flipped on is basically the point here. And I've been making investments videos since Classic WoW 2019. In TBC, I spent the entire expansion making about 8 different videos where I hinted towards a certain investment, sometimes directly told people to buy the item, and the item never changed in price. I kept buying it for the entire expansion of the Burning Crusade for 3 gold each. It was a Wrath of the Lich King Classic investment. When Wrath Classic came out, they went up to 400 gold each, over 100 times the price, after me talking about it consistently for a year straight. And during that year, the price never moved. It went really slow, from like 2 gold each to maybe 3 gold each. So over the time of me making content about that item for a long time, talking about it all the time on stream and in videos, it went up 50%. And when the actual demand came in, like what we invested for, when that time came in, it went up over 100 times in price, even after me talking about it. So my videos on these investments, they have basically nothing to say when it comes to the price and the market, because there are millions of people playing WoW. 1,000, 2,000, even if I get lucky and get 10,000 people watching an investment video, that is a drop in the ocean of 2, 3, 4, 5 million players that needs these items when it comes to Mythic Plus, raids, and that type of content. Either way, that's the video for today. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like down below. If you want more gold making advice, check out my gold making guide for the War Within, where you also get early access to content, by the way. So videos like this you will get early access to, and we also have some exclusive videos as well, and more to come, where you guys get more content. Exclusive videos are videos that I will never make public, that you will still have access to when you have the gold making guide. So you get earlier access to content, which is probably really useful for investments and also gold farms. And then you also get, that was a cat tail, you also get exclusive videos, so more content. In addition to that, you also get access to a gold making Discord where we talk about gold making all the time, different ways to make gold, different items to flip, professions, and stuff like that. If you're interested in making gold, I want to say it's a really good place to be, so check it out, the link is down below. So once again, thank you so much for watching, best of luck on the investments, and I'll see you again in the next video very soon. Bye bye now, bye bye, bye bye.